sits on a smoke cloud, thinking out loud, trying to be strong.
I feel like I'm so close. How are you doing today?
I'm well. I'm well. Welcome all the way from Abu Dhabi.
Right. It's 9 o'clock at night right now.
Oh, is it? Oh my God. Well, it is noon. It is noon over here in the States.
But you know, Thursday starts our weekends out here, so I don't have work tomorrow.
Oh, really?
We only work on we work Sunday through Thursday.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I like it.
I'm gonna have a lot of questions about, not a lot of questions, but I got a few questions too, because I mean, over here in the States, we just don't know too much about Abu Dhabi and the difference between Abu Dhabi and Dubai, you know, which is what, like an hour apart approximately?
Yeah, I'm an hour away from Dubai. So I would say Abu Dhabi is like where you raise your kids, very quiet, relaxed. Where Dubai is like Vegas.
Oh. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Stark contrast.
Right. It's a complete contrast. If you're, you know, trying to make some money, trying to start a new business, go to Dubai. If you want fast life, if you want something to do every night, Dubai is the place. But if you're trying to settle down, have a family, Abu Dhabi is definitely the place.
So it's more grounded there, you would say.
It is more grounded. And at first I was like, what is this? but now that I'm here, I'm really glad that I came to Abu Dhabi instead of Dubai, because it has really helped me on my journey of self-discovery.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Definitely need that grounding in order to do so. You can't be somewhere like Las Vegas trying to ground yourself and grow yourself. Well, welcome to the bigger picture. Welcome to the bigger picture. As you know, I'm Dakari, and I'm also the editor-in-chief of Urban Magazine. So you're now officially a part of the Urban family.
Ah, nice.
So,
Thank you.
I was really excited when I got the call to interview you because I was because I mean, I've had, you know, I get a chance to interview all types of people, but it's very rare that I have the opportunity to interview a poet, you know. It's a beautiful thing, you know. Not a lot of people delve that deep, and I feel like after watching your videos and feeling your energy that way, I can see that you write from a very real place. So, but before we get into all of that, you're from the States. So where are you from?
I was born in Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia, the mountains area. When I was 14, we moved to North Carolina. So North Carolina is home. My parents live in Raleigh. You can kind of hear it in my accent.
Yes, I can tell. I knew that it was South, but I didn't know exactly where.
North Carolina is where I went to college, where I started my career, high school, all that other good stuff.
Excellent. Well, when did you figure out that you wanted to be a writer and poet? Did you always know that that's what you wanted to do?
It's always been an outlet for me. Like when I was a child, I remember writing short stories. I read a lot. I remember in 5th grade, me and my homegirls, we had this journal where we would write short stories and pass them on for each of us to read. And,
really?
Yeah. 5th grade, being grown. It was kind of like, you know, the story, the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Yes,
it was kind of like that.
Right.
Except we had a journal that we would pass on and write to each other in like little short stories, or even just like a little diary and excerpt. And then, but you know, like I'm the type of person, I've always had like a plan. My mom has always instilled into me, you need to have a goal. You need to know where you're going in order to be successful. So in middle school, I had my whole life planned out. I knew what college I wanted to go to. I knew what I wanted to do when I got to high school, the courses that I was taking. And I just felt like being a writer wouldn't make enough money for the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And then I turned around but then I turned around and become a teacher, and It's the same
You
thing.
gave it, but yeah, but you know what? You're writing anyway, and that's the beautiful thing. You never lost that. You know, you're able still to have that connectedness. And you know what? I feel like as an adult, we lose the connectedness to our childhood. You know, that
Mm.
passion. So you still held on to it. I got a question to ask you though. So you guys were passing along this journal. Were you guys writing anything that was inappropriate?
You know we were. You know we
Right.
were. You know we were. You know, I actually wrote, so, you know, we had this teacher assistant. So my first Black teacher in 5th grade, her name was Miss Hughes or Miss Hughley. She was bad. Like, every day she had heels. Her nails was always done. Her hair was done to the T. And then she had this teacher assistant that was a young Black woman as well. So her and we used to think her and the PE teacher were like talking in 5th grade. We were so nosy. Anyway, so we would write about them, or I didn't like the way she was acting, so I was like, oh, she's a bitch. And she read my note, and then I got detention for a week for that.
Oh no.
Well,
But you
I mean,
know what?
she shouldn't have been doing all of that in front of the kids.
No, no, she shouldn't have been. But you know, so she can. You were exercising your writing ability. You know, I mean, she shouldn't have been mad at that.
At all. At least
You
I'm
know?
pretty sure the spelling was correct. The grammar was
That's right.
good.
The grammar was correct. That's right. She could have pointed out the pluses, the pros.
Right.
You know.
Exactly. But you know, I definitely believe that, like, back to what you were saying about, we need to make sure that we tune into our child, our inner child, because the
Yes.
dreams that we have as children, they end up coming to fruition if we're tapping in. We might, you know, go off on the beating path, but it seems like we always come full circle to our soul's true purpose, to our soul's true desire, if we're tapping in and not allowing the outside to determine what's going on the inside.
Agreed. And thank you for the compliment. Somebody just complimented us to say we're both very beautiful young ladies. Thank you very much.
You know, when I first got on, before I entered, I said, oh, she look good. Let me go put some lip gloss on.
Oh, stop. Well, look. All right. It's 9 o'clock over there. It's 12 o'clock over here. So, I mean, you know, it's nighttime over there. You're in chill mode.
Right, hard. I'm in hard chill mode. I'm in my room right now.
But yeah, no, I agree with tapping into that childlike energy that we had, because like you said, you know, that's when it's real. You know, when we're children, we don't have to fake it. We don't have to. We're more honest than we are ever, I think.
That's very true.
But yeah, so you're an educator, so you deal with children, yes?
Yes. I love my little babies.
So what grade do you teach?
I teach 1st grade, so I have the 6 and 7-year-olds, and they are so truthful. They are so funny, inquisitive, and the dynamics of adult to child out here is a little bit different. Where I feel like children are less, willing to speak up in America. Whereas here, because they're having to translate for their parents a lot of the times. The kids are very just like, Miss, no, I don't, Miss, I have all right, questions. I'm like, you're 6. You're 6. Wait, I need to slow down.
Stop.
Hold on.
Yeah, so that's definitely a culture like shock or adjustment that I'm sure you had to make, because like you said, here we're like, I have a 9-year-old. Go sit down. You know, so that has to be trying.
It's completely different. Like, I know I have a nanny in my classroom.
Really? Wow. That's very interesting. How do you deal with that?
At first, I was like, nanny? I mean, you mean teacher assistant? That's what we have in the States. So for them to call them nannies, I was just so perplexed by it. But just having to change my students' perspective of this woman and say that she's not your nanny. She is an adult. She is a teacher as well. So you will respect her just like you respect me. But when I take too long doing something, I would go tell nanny to do. I would be like, What you won't do is go tell anybody to do anything.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna sit down
And be patient.
Yes.
But this is just how they talk. They're very assertive. They're not afraid to speak their mind, and I do love that about the students out here.
Right, right. Well, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, definitely culturally, we, you know, as a parent, I know that sometimes, you know, you have to encourage I encourage my daughter to speak her mind, but, you know, I don't want to give her too much liberty either. It's about respect.
To the point of disrespect. Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now, let's get into, like, you've been a writer. You've been writing forever. Who or what is your biggest inspiration?
As far as day-to-day writing, it's always whatever I'm going through, whatever emotions that I have. Because I do go to therapy. I go to therapy every 2 to 3 weeks now.
Good for you. I need that in my life.
And I know I went through like a little bit of depression in college. I went through some anxiety and things of that nature. So poetry was just an outlet for me to process my feelings and also process the world around me. It just made me release it. I don't want to hold on to this no more. Let me write it down really quick. But as far as other poets, you know, like the old school Black Renaissance, like you got your Nikki Giovanni, your Countee Cullen, like Langston Hughes, your James Baldwin, all of those really good, I'm going to tell it like it is for my people type of people. Yeah. But then also, you know, being an American and being in the public school system in America, we're first introduced to white poetry or white literature. Yes. So I fell in love with Shakespeare. Like it sounds crazy sometimes when I say it, but I definitely fell in love with him. And the Walt Whitmans and Emily Dickinson and just the way that they verse their stuff. I just love it.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Especially Emily Dickinson was very dark. She was very depressed.
So dark. Oh, and Edgar Allan Poe. I don't know why I love that man.
Yes. You know what it is? I think as you, it looks like exhibit in your poetry, you know, the dark places sometimes are the places that's like meat and potatoes. You know? Those are the places that we really grow from, you know? I think that happiness is light, it's fun, you know, and there's something to be said about being happy and love and blessed. But I think it's the dark places that really push us to grow. And when you read something like Edgar Allan Poe or Emily Dickinson, you know, you can see where they were. And to be so eloquent, you know? I mean, you have a poem, Inherited PTSD. And you're writing from a place of pain, you know? There was a quote in there that you said, our culture has been worshipped and repurposed. And that, obviously I wrote it down and hung on. It was heavy to me because what a way to not really be, you know? It's like you're this thing to be repurposed and sold, you know, over and over and over again, you know? And, you know, I can't wait to read your book, 20 Somethings, because I know it's going to be rich in emotion and in growth. What are some of your, or a poem, let's say, from 20 Somethings that is your favorite? I know it's hard. It's your book, and you got a lot of favorites, I'm sure. But if you had,
and I don't have my iPad right here with me. I'm just thinking about that. Sheesh. There's one that my mom does not know about, but when she reads it, she is Scorpio and she's gonna have questions. It's called Dear Mama. And it's basically just talking about when I got into my teen years. You know, we watch TV and we watch the character of what a mom should be and how she's supposed to act with her daughter. And it's like, I created this image of you and who you were supposed to be. But, you know, you were you, but different. And I was myself, but the same. I didn't change. And because I had this perception of you, I couldn't accept you for who you are. and you did the best that you could based on your experiences, based on the way that your mother handled you. And you were just passing it on. And I really hope these words you don't take it the wrong way, because I love you, but I'm 30 now, and now I see that you're just a human being like I am, and you're just learning like I am, and you're just growing like I am. But as a teenager, as a young adult, I took it to heart, and I didn't like you very much, and I didn't think that you liked me. You know, so I think that's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that, it's funny. It's very relatable. That's very relatable for a lot of us women in particular. Dear Mama, page 3, Dawn just shouted out.
Thank you, Dawn.
She also said the one about sisters. She mentioned that one. Does that one ring a bell for you?
Yes. Excuse me. So there's 2 of them. One I just posted, and it's just the one I just posted on my Instagram is just talking about, for some reason we as women, we feel like we have to compete. And it's like, baby girl, this is not a competition. I see you. And because I see you, that means that, my light is shining. So
That's
when
right.
I grow, you grow. And when you're fatigued, I'm here for you. Lean into me. Because I got your back. And then there's another one. My older sisters are 7 and 5 years older than me. And I remember watching them wear their baggy jeans in the 90s, have they swoops and the big hair and the hoops and the baby hairs and the bamboo earrings, and I as a kid I was just so enamored by them. Whatever they did. One of my sisters was a track star, the other one was a cheerleader, and to this day it's you all were my first loves. Forget the little Kims, forget everything that was on TV. It was my big sisters that I looked at. And to this day, when I think about them, I'm tearing up. Thinking about the love that I have for them. Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet though. That's big. I don't have any sisters. I don't have any sisters. But no, I can definitely see your perspective on that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. It took us a while to get here, though.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you're fighting.
Yeah, of course. I had a brother. I didn't have any sisters. I had a brother. But yeah, of course. No, I hear you. We're all a work in progress.
Yeah.
But you know what? You are doing the work. You mentioned your mom is a Scorpio. When's your birthday?
I'm a Gemini child, but my moon sign is Scorpio, so it makes sense. My emotional side is very dark. It's very.
I can see that. See that.
Yeah, so that's probably why me and her be like this all the time. Another problem is don't hold back. My favorite line: "This world would be less without you." I so wish I had my iPad right now so I can read it for you.
She's got you though. She's got you right now.
That's why I love Dawn. I have said this to her so many times. If it was not for her, this book would still just be a Google Doc on my Google Drive. It would not have come to fruition. Sometimes you just start following people that are in your same niche or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just so happened to follow her, and something told me to go ask her, see what she can do to help me get this book out there to other people. And when I tell you, she has done above and beyond what I could ever expect.
Wow. That's a beautiful thing. And that's about women helping women. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful, people helping people, but this is my show. This is what I like to talk about. Women helping women is really important, because as you mentioned earlier a few minutes ago, how we're always in competition with each other, and it's so not necessary. There's enough room for us all. There is. Now,
thank you, Dawn. I have a poem about that as well in the book. It's called Jealousy. And it's basically talking about how I was in this friendship with this woman, and I was doing so much for her. I was seeing so much of her life. I thought she was so dope, and I didn't see myself. And seeing her growth stunted my growth, because I was like, oh, I don't see me. I don't see me. I failed to water my own seeds while I was watering hers to help her grow.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I grew jealous. I grew a hatred for her because it was like, why don't you support me like I'm supporting you?
When all the
And it's
while,
like, all I had to do was
while,
this: water
yeah,
myself, take care of
yeah,
myself.
yeah, yeah. It's all part of the process. It's all part of the process. That's why your poetry is so beautiful and it's so dope. I cannot wait. November 15th, yes?
Yes,
On
yes,
Amazon, yes,
Sunday, yes.
yes. I am looking forward to it.
You can
Seriously.
actually pre-order now on Amazon. I just got the link for it, so it's in my bio. My sister
Oh,
actually
good.
just bought 2 books. Yeah.
Oh, good. Good. I'll have to mail it to Abu Dhabi so I can get a signature.
Oh,
I
definitely.
want
You want a
an
little
autograph.
I got
Um,
you.
Now, you know, I also wanted to, there was another poem I wanted to kind of tap into that you wrote that had a little extra swag, at least when you said it on the IG Live. It's called Allow Me to Introduce Myself. Allow me to introduce
Oh,
myself.
yes, that one.
Yes, you
That
said,
one
let me
was so
tell
good.
you.
Go ahead.
No, hold up. You said something that immediately, like I stopped it, went back and played it, and then stopped. I was like, I gotta write this down
Oh,
because because I like this a lot. This was fire. This was like a little hello. All right. Allow me to introduce myself. You said, I've never been able to come to terms with verses as holding cells for the composure of who I am. That to me, that's like, what do you mean? I can't box myself in with this little bitty description. What do you mean? You want me to tell you about myself?
right.
You
I
know?
need more than 150.
That's right.
I need
That's
more than
right.
it. Exactly. Because it's so like a generic thing. I hate that. Like, tell me about yourself. What? Like,
Yeah.
I like ice cream. Like, what do you, what do you,
what else you want?
like, what do you, like, let's have this conversation. And if we
Uh-huh.
vibe, we vibe. But let's not say, like, so we're, like, that's boring, I feel like. That's like asking somebody, what do you do for a living? Because that's
Right.
not who they are. That's just their career. But once you get into conversation with the person, once you start to figure out their passion, then that's the depth of the person. That's
Indeed.
the true person. But even with me, my dad has always said, like, we was having a conversation. He was like, you've always done your own thing. Like, you've always been the person that is going to be over there doing something random, but she good. like,
Good. That means that
I
you go to the beat of your own drum, you do your own thing. And that's really important because you can only be you, because as soon as you try to be somebody else, it's a wrap, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
And I've been there. And I feel like those times where I tried to create a character, create an avatar for the public to accept, that's when I let myself down. That's when I
yeah.
had a lot of depression. That's when I dealt with
Mm-hmm.
like bipolar and all that
Mm-hmm.
other, crazy mental noise that was unnecessary
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want to accept myself. I wanted people to like me that didn't even like themselves.
Well, you are in good standing with this Gemini astrological sign, even though you kind of, with your Scorpio moon, you feel more of a connection there. But let me tell you, Gemini sun is a very beautiful place, especially as a writer. I mean, you
Thank
are
you.
in the likes of like Biggie, Busta Rhymes,
Tupac,
Tupac,
Kanye, but
uh,
don't hate on my Kanye. I love my Kanye.
I love Kanye too. I don't like this new Kanye we have. I like old Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
he
it's
just,
sticky, it's sticky, it's sticky.
I
It's so
know, I
sticky.
know. Well, you know what it is? You know what it is? I just feel like we're not gonna go into it too deep. But I just feel like ever since his mother passed, he has been lacking an anchor. So, but
Definitely.
other than Kanye though, I mean Prince was a Gemini.
Yes, Prince.
R.I.P. Prince. I mean, you have a lot of people that are amazing writers that are Gemini. So you are in good company.
Thank you.
So
What's your sign? What's your sun sign?
I'm a Pisces. I'm
Ah.
also a double sign. I'm like a twin, but yin and yang. I'm yin and yang. There's two of us too.
Oh, yeah, because of the the water. Yes, yes. She said, how do
That
y'all
was
know this zodiac stuff? I'm a Pisces. I actually, girl, sometimes off topic, sorry. I stay
that's
up
okay.
late at night, especially during quarantine. I'll be up in my bed at like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, Googling stuff on my signs. That's the only reason
Yeah,
why
I
I
know,
know.
me too. Me too. It's like literally over here, YouTube went out for a little while, and I was like, I can't look up my stuff. And I was going into a meltdown. But so I do understand. It just helps keep me, astrology helps make sense sometimes of everything that's going on, you know?
It
So
does
it's
make
cool that
sense.
you're
It's kind of like a
doing.
roadmap.
Yes. Yes, it
It
is.
is. Somebody said I have 2 daughters, a Gemini and a Pisces. Pray for me. Yeah.
Pray for you. I will. You know what? I will pray for you because it's definitely an adventure. But you are also dealing with signs that are mutable, adaptable, and very creative, and usually have the gift of pen. So they'll work
Mhm.
all that stuff out and communicate better as they get older.
Right, right. As they learn themselves, as they learn their
Exactly.
superpowers. That's what I call them. Your
Yeah, it's
superpowers.
true. It's totally true. Now you have a podcast.
I
Yes?
do. Yes, yes. I started it
Yes.
back in January, February, and then I kind of fell off of it during quarantine because I'm a very reflective person. If I feel like if I don't feel it, I'm not gonna do it. And
Right.
I wasn't feeling it. I feel like my point of view wasn't coming across. So then I restarted it a few months ago, and the last episode I did was actually with my boyfriend on relationships, and he was a really
So
good conversation.
tell me about relationships in 2020. I've been single for a while because the dating scene is interesting nowadays. So, I mean,
Girl,
tell me,
it's
what's your
ghetto.
perspective on relationships, you know, nowadays? Uh,
I'm gonna
long sigh, long pause.
girl, because before I've known him for a year, but our relationship is very new. I want to say about 4 months. But before him, I was going on dates, and I was just like, "You're ghetto. Who raised you? Ugh, this is nasty." Like the whole shebang, because it was a lot of people in looking for things for self gratification or just for
Mm,
off the whim. Let's just have fun, but it wasn't really I want to go out with you in order to help you grow spiritually. And that's what I
mm.
need because
Yes.
that's what I'm gonna give you. If we're in
Yes.
this, it's order to elevate. Like I have a poem and it's like love should be big and it should elevate you, and let's not
Yes.
fall in love, but let's
Yes.
elevate in love. And I
Yes.
feel
And you
like
use the term.
that's kind of the
You,
theme of people falling in love and then falling out of love.
and you used the
But
term when you said that too. Was it? It was is it agape? Is that correct?
yes, yes,
Yes. Yes. See,
agape.
I did my research, girl. I pay attention.
Yes, you on
I'm
it. You on
watching
it. You
you.
on it.
So,
Agape. So there's
yes.
4 different types of loves. That you have your eros, which is what most
Mm,
people are doing, and
mm-hmm,
that is that passionate, that fiery love, and just
mm-hmm.
as fast as it is ignited, is as fast as it goes away.
It's
Then you
sweet.
have
Mm,
philia, which is the love of people, and then
mm-hmm,
there's another type of love, and that's the love that your parents give you. And then you have
mm-hmm,
agape, and that's the love that God gives us, that unconditional love, that love, no
mm-hmm,
matter what we do, it's still going to be there. It's within us. But it's a matter of us acting on it and being confident in it. And a lot of
mm-hmm,
people are so lost and they've dealt with loveless relationships when it comes to their
mm-hmm.
parents, when it comes to their sisters, or any intimate relationships as well. So when they do get
Right.
into relationships with other people, they're not really able to understand what it means to truly love somebody unconditionally.
Mm.
Unless you have a
Mm.
dog and that dog gonna love you unconditionally. But, but when it comes to people, it's like a lost cause. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
It's a lost
You know,
cause.
it's funny, you know, that you say that because there is there's something that I kind of like live by, and it's not to deify the lover per se, but it's more about looking for that type of love you just spoke on. And that is that because for some reason, I don't know, we'll talk about this in a second too. You know, there's this whole thing with men wanting a woman to surrender to them, you know, and, you know, and my whole thing is that unless you can see, quote, unless you can see the face of God in your lover, then they're not worth surrendering to. And I don't mean to deify the lover. I mean that we are both supposed to be seeking this profound love that elevates us as opposed to, you know what I mean? So how do you feel about this whole, this surrendering, you know, on a spiritual level? Because it's kind of a tough, you know, balance.
It is a tough balance, and I feel like that's surrendering is not a negative connotation, but we take it as negative. Surrendering just means like, it is what it is, and I'm gonna let it be what it is. But you, unfortunately, you can't allow everybody to be in that space of surrender. And like you said, like, if I don't see God in you, if I don't see the face of God in you, then that means that you probably don't see it in me either.
That's right.
So it's like, what are we doing here? Right. So it's like, okay, cool. You look nice, you smell good, but you ain't for me. Let's move on. You know what I mean? Right. And that's okay. Like, I'm not even mad at you. Like, have a great day. Be blessed. But I think it's like, for like the relationship that I'm in now,
which takes growth, by the way. It takes growth to be able to walk away when you see that, because a lot of people will still hold on. That's the ego, I think. You try to hold on, like,
it's
no,
so ego. And I used to be so toxic, child. Yes. I used to be what's that song? I'm not a player, but I crush a lot. Toxic energy. Where are we going? What are we doing tonight? Dinner? Okay. I don't even like you, but we're going to dinner. I was that person. But yeah, like with the relationship that I'm in now, I don't know, it's completely different than I've ever expected, because like you said, I see the God in him and he sees the God in me, and we're very spiritually connected. Prayer, meditation, just the way he takes care of me. Like, I can go back to masculine and feminine energy, and how the masculine energy is very protective, very they want to be the planner, they want to make sure that you're good, they want to provide. And the feminine energy can be a little bit wild, can be creative, can be herself, her full powerful self, because I do feel like the feminine energy is a lot bigger than the masculine energy, but that's that.
It is. well, and that's the reason why there's been such an issue, just, you know, as far as society is concerned, no matter which country you go into, you know, to make us shrink, to make us smaller, to make us feel like, you know, so that a lot of men are more comfortable with that expansion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
definitely, sure. But I feel like when you're in a healthy relationship, that masculine energy is going to uplift your feminine energy. It's going to push you to be your best self as a woman.
Indeed. I can't wait to read your book.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
I can't wait.
Like, when people say things like this to me, I don't know, like, there's something about it that's just like, it's still so surreal to me. Because I'm telling you, last year I was sending my poetry to one of my friends back home. Not my poetry, but my poems to my friends back home randomly. Just like, hey, you like this? I just wrote this. You know, just like something, quick notes. But I never thought in my adult years that this would come to fruition. As a child, you know, you have your dreams and you're like, okay, I'm going to be an author. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. I'm going to be all of these things. But you never really, as you're going through life, as you're going through the weeds, as you're going through the journey, you know, on the way to grandma's house and everywhere else, you forget, those things that really made your heart happy, that brought you joy, those things that you knew that you were going to do, because God gives us all a purpose. And as children, we know our purpose, but we're so afraid to live in it as we're going through what we're going through. So now that I'm here, I'm just like, oh shit.
Like, it's happening. I'm living it. I'm living my dream. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. That's why you are, you know, I can see that you are going to be just a light, you know, in the literary community and just in the community period. I can't even say just literary, just in the community period, because you reverberate so much positivity and love. And we need more of that in this world, Lord knows.
Girl,
So,
that's very true.
so
Somebody said our childhood dreams are aligning now as we enter age of Aquarius. You
yes,
know, I love how we both just paused on that. Because the truths are being told, things are
yes,
being revealed.
yes.
And
And we just
everybody's like,
entered a
what?
portal. And we just entered a portal, right? Yesterday,
Yesterday.
11/11.
Did you do your manifestations?
I did. I did. And my dream work has been very interesting. Very interesting. See, I'm a Pisces. I'm a Pisces rising with the Cancer moon. So everything I
Bless
do a lot
your
of dreaming.
heart. You got a lot
A
of
lot of
water.
dreaming. Yeah.
Got a lot going
Very
on.
emotional.
Right. But you're very in tune as well.
Yeah.
Which is good. Which is good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so your book, we know, is out there. We know it's coming November 15th. People can pre-order it right now. The link is in your bio. I'm going to, as soon as I hop off here, I'm going to be hopping on there to make my
Thank
pre-order
you.
happen. And I mean, what can we expect from you? What else can we expect? Do you have anything else lined up for us? Actually, before you get into that, I also noticed that you select some very, very beautiful imagery for your page. And I'm sure we can
Thank
expect
you.
that in your book. Are we going to expect that in your book?
Not this time around because it was the first
Okay.
one out. So the next time around, I will start doing that. But I love art. I'm obsessed with art. So that is why.
Yeah.
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 And I think as an educator, I probably do that as well because I know that there's different ways of learning and people see things
Mm-hmm.
through words
Mm-hmm.
and through pictures. So I'm just trying to give you what you need.
To feel you're feeding people.
That's the
Yes.
goal.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's the goal.
Well, I mean, what else do you have planned though for the future? Is anything else that you see for the future? I mean,
So I
how
haven't
long do
like
you think
said this to too many people. I do have a
Okay.
clothing line that I'm about to work on.
Okay.
Like leisure wear, like t-shirts,
Yeah,
sweatpants,
yeah.
comfy stuff, but it's going to have like quotes from the book. And the clothing
I
line is
think
going
that's beautiful.
it's going to be called 20 somethings as well.
That's beautiful. It's perfect. It's
Thank
perfect.
you.
I'll be looking forward to it. I'm sure everybody else will too. Is there anything else you need to tell everybody that's listening and everybody else that's going to see this video?
I think we discussed everything. Go ahead and pre-order the book. It drops November 15th. Make sure you check out the podcast, The Talk.
Yes.
It's on Anchor.
Okay, that's where it is. It's on Anchor. Okay, I wasn't sure
It's
where
on
it was.
Anchor and it's on Spotify as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, on that note, love, I won't take any more of your time. You go and get some sleep. Actually, it's your weekend, so you're probably going to be up.
Have a drink.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you very much. You enjoy your evening, my love, and keep
Wait a
being
minute.
light.
Dawn's telling me to do something. Thank you, girl. See, what would I do without Dawn? It's the website is sheabutterpublishing.org.
Shea Butter Publishings.
SHEA butterpublishing.org. And that's where you can find you can pre-order the book. You can find some photographers that I really like, some poetry, as well as the podcast.
Excellent. Excellent. All
Thank
right.
you.
You guys heard it. Shea Butter Publishing. You got November 15th on Amazon. The Talk is going to be on Anchor and Spotify. You ready to keep up? You ready to keep up? So anyway, so I love you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you,
Urban Magazine, and Being Original, my partner. And yeah, we're gonna sign out here. All right, stay up, stay focused, and stay blessed, y'all.
Trying to be strong as she cries through her song.